to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Dr. Selvage,
Here.
Dr. Fellow, Mr. Osterling, Ms. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Hilsman,
Here.
Mr. Martin, Ms. Waugh,
Here.
Ms. Garipian.
And Mr. Fellow?
Oh, here they are, together.
Okay, he's here basically.
We will have a closed session. Yeah, we have 3 items on our closed session agenda, which has been published. Are there any comments from the public on the closed session items? Being none, we will now adjourn to closed session. The Wednesday, May 3rd, 2017 regular business meeting of the Pasadena Area Community College District will come to order. We have adjourned from closed session, and there is no reportable action. A roll call, please.
Dr. Selvage,
Here.
Dr. Fellow,
Here.
Mr. Osterling,
Here.
Ms. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Hilsman,
Here.
Mr. Martin,
Here.
Ms. Waugh,
Here.
Ms. Garipian.
Here.
Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Verdian, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance,
Oh,
please?
my.
Ready? Begin. Do any trustees want to reorder any agenda items?
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Advisory vote?
Aye.
Trustees? Passes 7-1 with the advisory vote yes. Introductions and recognitions. Dr. Verdian, we have one recognition.
Mr. President, we do have one recognition, and I would ask that we ask Trustee Osterling to come to the podium. You can recognize him for his excellence in trusteeship.
Oh, yay!
There you go.
This is always a pleasure. We did this last a couple of months ago when Trustee Martin, after, was it 37 years, you became excellent. You became an excellent trustee.
Some of us are slow learners.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Yeah. Jim's made remarkable progress. He goes to all of the conventions, conferences, and he's really put in a lot of effort to not just come to these meetings and do his homework, but also to expand his knowledge of what it takes to be a excellent trustee. So, Jim, I'd like to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Here's your certificate, and we'll have you make a statement in a moment, but I'll put the pin on you. I'm not going to pound it in.
You're not going to do the Marine Corps pin?
Or the CD smash, right. Okay. There you go.
Thank you. I don't have any prepared comments, so I'll be brief. As my fellow new trustee, Hoyt Hilsman, knows, the learning curve for a new trustee is really quite steep. And the way that I earned this certificate was by attending conferences put on by the ACCT and the California League, and they were really essential and helpful for me to not only earn this piece of paper, but now after about a year and a half, feel a little bit more comfortable as a trustee that I might actually know a little bit about what I'm doing. But I also want to thank PCC for supporting me and all of the trustees to enable us to attend these events, not only to learn things, but to network with our fellow trustees. So thank you.
Yeah, if I may, I would also like to congratulate Trustee Osterling because I think it's almost a record time, less than a year, right? Or just about a year?
Well, I've been a trustee for about a year and a half.
Okay, that was pretty good, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Next order of business is public comment on non-agenda items. Trustee Osterling, do we have speakers on non-agenda items?
Okay, tonight we have 3 speakers, and as usual, each of you will get 3 minutes, and I'll give you a friendly 30-second reminder when your time is almost up. Our first speaker tonight is Jonathan Furman.
Thank you, Trustee Osterling, members of the board, and congratulations, by the way. I wanted first to thank Alex for sending out those emails, which I read about the trustee meetings, and last week's included a reference to your technology master plan, which I reviewed. And I wanted to come tonight to comment on one particular area where I think it's a little bit deficient, and that is in information technology security. PCC is a motherlode of information, of personally identifiable information, individuals' names, birth dates, social security numbers, educational information, financial information, health information protected by HIPAA. There's just a ton of stuff there. I happen to serve as the chair of the Information Systems Commission for Los Angeles County. The LA County gets 1,000 attempts to hack or phish into the system every day. You probably are getting attacked at roughly similar levels. I believe the needs for an information security officer at a level that reports either to the executive VP for business or possibly even to the president is such that you need someone at that level to lead the effort to institute policy on information security and ensure the implementation. Training individuals what sorts of emails to respond to, what sorts of emails not to open up. The ease with which malware and ransomware and all sorts of other stuff can be introduced into the systems is just incredible these days. So I would urge you to place more emphasis on the information security area, to consider as you recruit a chief information officer, also to look for a position as a chief information security officer who would have policy responsibility as well as implementation responsibility for ensuring front-end security of your systems, ensuring monitoring attempts to invade your systems, and to be designated as the incident command officer should someone actually breach your systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Furman. Our next speaker will be Mr. Martin Enriquez.
Congratulations on the certificate and your
Thank you.
progression. Honorable trustees and assembled persons, I'm going to read parts of a 1992 letter addressed to me by Florence Adams, who was the head person from the National Demographic Corporation that did the redistricting in 1992. It states, I am in receipt of the materials that you have mailed to Pasadena Area Community College District. And then I'll go straight to her first of the 3 points. You have done a good job in terms of minority representation in districts 3 and 4. As consultants to the board, we discussed the approach that you have used, but the board seems to prefer a district design that would create one clearly minority district, rather than creating 2 minority-influenced districts. And she goes on, your effort is one of the better citizen plans that we have reviewed in many jurisdictions. I congratulate you on your effort. And then she mentions Dr. Goldman, Dr. Hoslup, and so forth. I continue to read part of the Amici Curia from Evenwell versus Abbott, and this brief is what I call urban America. The main signatures are the city of Los Angeles with 3,928,864 individuals, and the county of Los Angeles with 10,111,705. Other cities in the Curia are Chicago, San Francisco, cities from Ohio, Maryland, Georgia, New Jersey, and Utah, Salt Lake City, and so forth. The full list, I'm going to go to part of what they write. The city and county of Los Angeles, joined by other cities across the United States, filed this brief as Amici Curia in support of the appellees. Los Angeles and other Amici fully embrace the use of total population as a basis for redistricting. It also happens to be the policy of Pasadena City College, which is more
30
honored in the
seconds.
breach than in the actuality. For over 40 years, Los Angeles has dealt firsthand with the precise redistricting question presented here. Recent demographic shifts have affected Los Angeles earlier than some other localities, bringing the question to a head decades before it became a concern elsewhere. In Calderon versus City of Los Angeles, 1971, Los Angeles residents challenged the city's councilmanic district map, arguing the total population apportionment.
Mr. Enriquez, could you finish your comments, please? Thank you.
20 years later, Garza versus Los Angeles County, which I have brought to this board's attention as early as 1992. And I'm only going to grab very small pieces of Arcadia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Enriquez. Our next speaker is Ms. Margaret Castro.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and fellow students, if there are any, and faculty and administration staff. The reason why I'm here today is because recently one of my former classmates was telling me about his experience that he had in the Disabled Students Services Disabled Students' Program Services. And you know, this really, really brought to me back the experiences that I had when I was attending college here. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why I truly believe and I continue to advocate for students who have disabilities, because it's something that I feel very passionate about. And when he told me that the person who he was there to see, his counselor, told him that she refused to have his testing done because she says there's nothing wrong with him. And yet I know he does have a reading disability. I could see it. I know that, since I have one as well. And when she said she refused to do that, and then when he pushed her, and she did, the specialist that he saw, which is the same one that I saw, Ricardo Castillo, he told him, he goes, you know, I really don't understand, you know, because, you know, you got to look at your age. And you have to look at the lack of education you have had. Immediately what came to my mind, age discrimination and discrimination because of his education. That right there, because somebody has a learning disability, that right there is a violation of his Americans with Disabilities Act rights. And I encouraged him that he needed to follow up with this, because this is, in fact, a violation. Because what has to happen here is that this needs to stop, because students are being violated, they're being denied their testing and accommodations as well. The school has already gone through this before. Do you really want to go through this again? To me, these students' rights are very important and they're being violated. And when I was here, I could see it as well. But I encourage students, and I will continue to encourage students, that when they are violated their rights, they need to speak up. They need to say something. Because we all know that this is something, it is very important for students to have their rights to be heard. Everybody does.
30 seconds.
And I will continue to advocate for students who have disabilities to speak up when their rights are violated. Because this is so important and this is very passionate to me. And I feel very moved because my direction is to go into public interest. Because I want to make sure students aren't violated their rights. And I think this is very important. And Pasadena City College needs to address these issues because this is serious. Because this could affect the college's funding if it goes to the OCR level. And this is something serious that the school should think about. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Castro. No further speakers.
Item 6, approval of minutes. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
Approval?
Second. Advisory vote?
Aye.
Trustees?
I would like to make a correction to the minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, so I would approve it, but the correction was on the information technology information item. I think that I had requested that we get a copy of the master plan. I don't think we ever saw the technology master plan, and that was going to be sent to us.
Okay, now, let's see, the minutes.
So the minutes, under item I, information I-1 on the technology master plan. So we got the presentation of some outcomes, but we never actually saw the technology master plan. And so I had received confirmation it had not been sent to the board, and so we're going to get a link. So I just wanted to make that part of the record and then also request that we get a link to it.
Okay, that was discussed. You'd like that to be part of the record on the minutes, correct?
Correct.
Oh, thank you. Any objection? All in favor of approving the minutes with that correction? Excuse me, advisory vote?
Aye.
Trustees? John, were you?
I was there and back.
Okay, the vote is 7-0 to approve with the advisory vote aye. Now, consent items, students.
Move approval. Second.
Any items that anybody wants to discuss? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve. Advisory vote,
Aye.
trustees? Consent items D are approved 7-0 with the advisory vote aye. Consent items I.
Move to approve.
E.
Second.
Anybody want to bring
Second.
anything up? Second. Okay. Advisory vote,
Aye.
trustees? Item passes 7-0 with the advisory vote yes. Consent item F, consent items business B. Does anybody want to pull any off for discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Advisory vote,
Aye.
trustees? Item passes 7-0 with the advisory vote aye. G, consent items, personnel P, the student trustee will not be voting on this. Do any trustees want to bring any of these items out for discussion and the regular agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, trustees? Passes 7-0. Action items, recommendation for approval. Approval of changes to the credit curriculum. Dr. Verdian?
It's a routine item, Mr. President, we recommend that you approve the changes to the curriculum.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
Trustees?
Mine went wacko.
There we go.
How come it's on no?
What does that vote for?
Okay, we have a malfunction on one of the indicators. The vote is 7-0 to approve with the advisory vote aye. Item 2 under action items, authorization to transmit third quarterly financial status report. Dr. Verdian?
This is a routine requirement. We ask that the board authorizes the district to transmit the third quarterly financial status report to the Chancellor's office as required by AB 2910.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Dr. Verdian, any particular points that you'd like to draw to our attention?
On this item, Dr. Stort, is anything? I do not think there's anything out of the ordinary in that, right?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Make a
Advisory vote?
Aye.
comment, please, sir.
Question over here.
Yeah, just a quick comment.
Trustee Martin?
So I would let the fellow trustees know the Budget and Audit Committee met this last week, and part of our review was an update in more detail on the numbers that support the 311Q. And I, for one, am very appreciative that we have these budget and audit meetings about quarterly and try to queue them up so that we do get that information prior to doing this report, so we can tell you that we did get more background on it, and appreciate the district's efforts so far in the direction with the budget this year.
Thank you. Any further comments or discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
Trustees? Passes 7-0 with the advisory vote yes. Information items, Superintendent President's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to just remind the board and faculty, staff, shared governance groups, and the general public that our next board meeting will be at our Rosemead Center. And we have invited the school districts of Rosemead, El Monte High School, El Monte City, Temple City, and Galway School Districts. And our understanding so far that Rosemead, El Monte High, El Monte City, Temple City will be attending. And they will make some brief presentations about their schools. And PCC will also have a very brief presentation as to the programs that we offer at Rosemead. And we are looking forward to being able to take the board meeting to an area of our district so that the residents of that district can get to see how the district and the college function. And I thank staff that are working very hard to make that a success. I am very pleased to highlight the performance of our speech and debate team at the recent Phi Rho Pi National Speech and Debate Tournament over spring break. And that performance included a national champion performance by one outstanding student, Sadia Khan, a 16-year-old student from Pakistan who finished high school early to start college at PCC. Sadia bested 130 other college students in 8 rounds of competition, covering such topics as EPA funding, political correctness, gun ownership, and military drone policy to earn her gold medal. And she wasn't the only PCC student winning national accolades. In fact, with 7 students competing, PCC placed 3rd in the nation in speech and debate. Congratulations to Sadia and the entire team and their coaches. And I know, Trustee Fellow, you will appreciate this very much because that's your area of expertise. Also, the 2017 Borders of Diversity Conference is taking place next Thursday, May 11th, right here in Creveling Lounge. The theme this year is We Will Live, the stories that define us. Students will present both individual paper and poster presentations on topics related to diversity. We will also be hosting Viet Thanh Nguyen as this year's keynote speaker. Nguyen is the 2016 Pulitzer Prize winner of The Sympathizer, as well as The Refugees and Nothing Ever Dies, Vietnam and the Memory of War. I hope you all can come to see the research presentations our students have prepared. Over the past 10 days, we have had 2 more evenings on diversity, racism, and equity at the college. The first one was on James Baldwin last week. That was I Am Not Your Negro. And the second one was yesterday with Tim Wise, Uprooting Racism, Privilege, and Institutional Inequity. I will end my report tonight with a quote from James Baldwin, which I hope you will delight in interpreting. And I quote, "It is certain that ignorance allied with power is the most ferocious enemy justice can ever have." This concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Verdian. Let's see. Okay, announcements by shared governance representatives. We will begin with Associated Students.
Good evening to the board. The Associated Students Lobby Committee just traveled to Washington, D.C. We were speaking with our congressmen and women regarding issues such as open educational resources, which were pretty much the highlight of the trip. It was an incredible opportunity to engage in conversation and really get specifically Congresswoman Judy Chu interested in bringing up legislation regarding open textbooks, open resources for our students. So that was incredible. In addition, our student survey is actually going to be going out tomorrow. So this will give us an opportunity and a chance to reach out to students regarding issues that they face here on campus. We have questions ranging from water filters on campus to access to transportation. So we'll be getting that data, and we'll make sure that we report on that as well once we get it. And that's all for my reports.
Got a question. What is your sense from a student's perspective how the effort for OER is going?
Well, it's definitely been for this past year sort of our campaign. It's something that we've been really putting our efforts behind. We know that we have 24 course lists at this time that do have OER, are implementing OER, but for us it's, really bringing awareness to it on the federal level, and then also we will be traveling to Sacramento and looking at the state level. That's so vital and important to us, and we know that beyond just student awareness, we need to make sure that we have it going on on the legislation side as well. So it's in the works, and we're still pushing behind it. So it's a process.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Classified employees.
Yes, hi. I'm filling in. So, Classified Sin would like to thank everyone who purchased Candygrams. It was a big success. It was our first time doing it. It was fun. A lot of work, but we got it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Management, please.
Yes, even as we sit in the relative comfort of Creveling Hall, others are at duty station waiting for a call that may or may not come. These are members of the Pasadena City College Management Association serving in the capacity of manager on duty. As some may not be aware of this small part of life on campus, allow me to explain. The manager on duty was reestablished several years after several years hiatus on the recommendation of Superintendent President Verdian, working with Dr. Verdian and members of the MA Board of Directors, and with a mandate that all managers should participate. The team created a plan and a schedule to staff each term, fall, spring, winter, and summer, so that coverage would be provided Monday through Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Incidentally, it turns out that a number of managers are actually on campus regularly on Saturdays, so that made these slots surprisingly easy to fill. The program has been further refined to provide coverage solely by academic deans during the first 3 weeks of the regular semesters, working from a central location in the C building The dean is readily accessible to the faculty and, importantly, students in need of assistance. Certainly, deans are in the best position to answer questions of an academic nature, but they also serve well as ambassadors on campus after conventional business hours. We continue to refine the program and look to discover areas of the college we can better or differently serve. It's important to note that the manager on duty is not intended to supplant campus police. In an emergency, the cadets, sworn officers, and managers work together as necessary and follow the appropriate protocols for which they've been trained. Thank you for your attention, and see you around campus. And incidentally, I think I'm the manager on duty tonight. Just to let you know. Thank you.
I've seen the managers on duty and stopped in a couple of times, and I think it's a great idea. I'm glad it's working out well. Academic Senate.
Good evening, board members. My name is Jay Cho. I'm a treasurer. I'm subbing, not subbing. I'm filling in for Dr. Foster. We have two announcements, two social announcements. First is to recognize our students. We have Academic Senate scholarship for our students. We have our last Academic Senate meeting on June 5th. And right after the meeting, we're going to have a little event to recognize students and award them the Senate scholarship at 5 o'clock p.m. So we'd like to invite members if you'd like to come by. The other one is to recognize the faculty members and staff and other members. We have the end of the year banquet, Academic Senate banquet, which is going to be on June 8th, which is Thursday night, which is right before the finals week. And we'd like to invite the board members to join us in festivity. We have a bunch of retirees and different awards that are going to be given to recognize the faculty and staff members. And on a personal note, I'm going on a sabbatical next year, so thanks for approving my sabbatical. I'll be researching the math. I teach mathematics here, like we have alternate math sequence for non-STEM majors to kind of accelerate and have them complete the non-transfer level math course sequence. So we started about 3 years ago, so I want to look at the result and look at the data and see how that's helping our students to move through and complete their certificate or degree or transfer. So this will be the end of June is the end of serving as Academic Senate treasurer. So I just want to
Jake,
thank you.
can I, as a liberal arts major, say that I am in awe of you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item is, excuse me.
Get report from the
Is that-
trustees.
Excuse me, yes, Board of Trustees. Student trustee.
So as the year comes to the end, so as you all know, the student trustee position rotates regularly. The next meeting will be my last full meeting, and then the following meeting is when we will do the switch off. So just so everyone knows, it was great being on the board. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to helping the new student trustee have an easy transition onto the board. And that is all.
And congratulations to Trustee Grippian for your acceptance to USC, correct?
Thank you.
All right.
Trojans.
Beautiful.
Right on, okay. You got that.
What happened to UCLA?
Just got to balance everything out. I have a lot of decisions to make.
We have very wise student trustees, Hoyt.
Julia Russo is
I'll
also
second.
accepted to Berkeley, UC Berkeley. She's just being quiet about that.
Is it coming out correct? Trustee Brown.
No report?
Trustee Hilsman.
No report other than thank the student trustee for her service. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you.
Trustee Watt.
Yes, I wanted to announce that May is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, so we're kicking off, and there's a lot of festivities. So it's great to see that we have a great speaker, I think, coming in of API Heritage. So the City of LA also recognized May 2nd as Fresh Off the Boat Day. So it was they honored the cast of Fresh Off the Boat. And one of the council members, African American, mentioned that Fresh Off the Boat has a very diverse audience and it's among the highest watched shows among the African Americans, along with Blackish and other diverse shows. So that was really exciting to be there. I also wanted to congratulate the Speech Club. I had a chance to go over to their debates, and I got a chance to see our champion, who's in high school, 17 years old. And it was just phenomenal to see all of the great talent. And also congratulations to the PCC Armenian Club under Trustee Groupian. She pulled together a great, well, the whole club pulled together a great program. So it was really a real treat to see them and experience the culture. Also, I was at the President's Superintendent Lunch for the College Promise, and that was not the College Promise, it was the Pathways, right? Yeah, the CTE Pathways. And so that was very well received by all the district superintendents I had talked to. And I think Trustee Fellow and I were both there, so great success. So, and then on the Triple CT, so I was over at, we had the CEO Triple CT board meeting on Friday, and many of you probably have already seen the letter that came out from the Chancellor's office regarding the math restrictions that came to us from a letter through the CSU Academic Senate and then was supported by our own Academic Senate. So it caused a lot of consternation. So I think the Chancellor was there and he felt compelled to write to everyone and to assure everyone that they're working on it. But of course, you know, it certainly put some restrictions on, I think, much of the good progress that our own faculty have made in the remedial math area. So I hope that gets resolved. There's also a discussion on the funding and the unfunded liabilities, and and they're working on that. One of the comments I had made before was about the Chancellor urging that we use this one-time funding to go to direct services for our students, so direct and not look at this as being something that is placed into ongoing buckets. So I know this is something that our budget and audit group is very much aware of, but once again, he reiterated that. And want to remind everyone that tomorrow we go to the Tahoe conference for the Triple CT, and we'll be electing the new officers of Triple CT. And that's it.
Trustee Martin.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Trustee Osterling.
I want to second congratulations to student trustee Garipian for joining the Trojan family, and to Julia Russo for going to the Berkeley Bears.
Go Bears.
But it's been a true pleasure working with you, not only here at Creveling, but in Sacramento and Washington, and in lobbying our legislatures. And we really appreciate your services, and good luck as you move on. And tomorrow night, I will be attending the LACSTA dinner, and one of our schools in our district, PUSD, will be receiving a Golden Bell Award there. Thank you.
President Selvage, may I ask one more thing, that on May 24th, LACSTA will be having, no, is that right? May 24th, LACSTA will be having another meeting, and Trustee Osterling has stepped up to the plate and will be nominating him for the president of LACSTA for the upcoming year. So I hope everyone will have a chance to come.
It's going to be a hotly contested election, just like my trustee election. I'm the only candidate. Trustee Waugh put me up to it.
Trustee Fellow.
Yes, I also want
What's
to
the date, Warren?
extend congratulations again to the president and faculty for the principal superintendent. I thought that was very good, and I came away. I knew the faculty were wonderful here, but I came away very impressed. The welding professors, the mechanic professors, and I told the president that I'd like to spend some more time here and looking at some of these programs, because I was very impressed. I want to congratulate you for your sabbatical. It's very hard to get these days, and I just got a sabbatical to write 2 books on the women in the Civil War and history of Italian cinema. So I'll be busy like you.
I want a whole chapter on La Strada.
On Fellini.
Right. I'd also like to congratulate our student trustee for her acceptance to the University of Southern California, and president of Associated students. Now, that's the Golden Bears. It's not the Bears. Okay, up there. It's your mascot. I'm also going to be attending the Trustees Annual Conference this coming weekend. I've looked over the program. There are a lot of good breakout sessions. I went to a meeting today at the LA County Office of Education, and this was a meeting of the Los Angeles County Committee on School District Organization. And I was there because an area that I represent, La Cañada Unified School District, was part of the discussion. A group of citizens who are in the city of La Cañada, but at the far west end and not in the La Cañada district. They're in the Glendale district, and this is kind of an anachronism from decades and decades ago, before either the school district or the La Cañada School District or the city of La Cañada had been established. In any case, those people had for literally generations been wanting to become, as they put it, sort of whole with the rest of La Cañada. And having a school district in common is a very significant element of what creates a community. And in every other respect, these people in the city of La Cañada that weren't in the school district were tied to La Cañada. It was a very interesting exercise to read the staff report and to hear the Glendale side. They did not want to give up this sliver, and it was only about 1.5% to 2% of their students. And to hear La Cañada and the people there who were supporting it. It was officially a petition that was entered by citizens. The school districts each gave their positions, and there were some great presentations. The meeting was also pretty trying in one respect, but they got over it. And you know, I am pleased that the committee, voted to provisionally approve the transfer of that area over into the La Cañada Unified School District. So we're going to have a little bit larger school district in my trustee area, which is going to be providing students to us. And La Cañada High School, which is a pretty high-performing high school, sends us some students each year, and they're really good performers, and we'll have a few more of those. So I was very pleased that that part of my trustee area had a small success today, and it was an interesting exercise and observation on the types of things that are considered by the K through 12 school districts that make up the feeders to this college here. I have no further comments. Proposed future board business meeting date.
Trustee Selvage, I'm sorry, I forgot to call the board's attention to a handout that Monica rushed to make for me. So it's 3 pages, but it's what we received during the strong workforce presentation at the CCCT. And it just, I know you can barely see this, but what I had asked Vice Chancellor Tom Quinlivan to do was give me sort of just a little guide on how trustees log into the launch board. So I think the 2 columns that are the most important are the using the launch board and then the CTE data unlock. So the data has been updated, and the mobile app that was developed by the Young Invincibles is called Here to Career. But it gives you, and I encourage you to advise all of your K-12 district superintendents as well as their students. The mobile app is especially, it's been pretty fully populated, but it's not disaggregated, but it's at the regional level. But it gives them a pretty good idea of what jobs are in the region, and then what certificates and degrees will lead to those jobs. So I just wanted to call everybody's attention. I apologize for not mentioning that sooner.
Thank you. Proposed future board meeting, business meeting dates.
Yeah, I have a question. So are we going to propose a date for our retreat? Or what's the story with that? Because we're past due. Can we put it in here or what?
We will work with the whole board to set a date. In the month of June,
Chair call.
yeah, we will get a date.
So we will have one. Okay, great.
Probably the second meeting.
The second meeting in June is the
17th?
No, it's the 21st of June. We could do it on that day if you want. And
That's the Wednesday after commencement.
Right.
So
It's the Wednesday
perhaps
of the
may I
committee.
recommend that we have Ms. Thompson go ahead and send around sort of a survey poll so that, with a range of dates, so we could see what date seems
Right.
to fit with most people. Then we can all respond.
Thank you. Are there any suggestions for proposed future agenda items? Trustee Wah.
Yeah, so I had previously requested that we find a way to start loading, as we approve board policies and any of the documents, directly into the board docs, so it makes it easier to search. I did, for some reason, I think that we had Rosemead originally scheduled for today, and then I know we changed it, but when I looked, I was getting confused, so when I went for the calendar, I had to look in the general search on the website, and it had the wrong date, so luckily I have a short-term memory, and I came here anyway. But anyway, I think it would be helpful if we had just a good one repository for all of our documents. So if we could start loading that, since we have board docs now, that would be great.
We will work with our IT to have that set up
Okay.
as quickly as we can.
So that would be in addition to people who don't have board docs, just going on the website and punching under Board of Trustees, the documents, and hitting the policies and bylaws and all that.
So board docs you don't have to authenticate, so it's a public open section. So they would hit the agendas just like we do, and that would go into board docs, and they can search through policies, and they could look at, so it gives them sort of one tab to kind of pull up everything.
Okay,
And they can do a search through that.
So if somebody goes on to the website right now and they want to see board bylaws, are they looking at something that is coming out of board docs?
No, they are not.
But this
And
would,
This what Trustee Wah is asking, Mr. Cameron will work on to, so that all the policies that we have at the college will also be accessible through board docs, so that as we are proceeding with our meeting right now, any question comes up about a board policy, we all sitting here, and the general public as well, will be able to go into our library, which is a tab here, and click on policies, and that policy will come up. Or you could even search a term that will show up in many policies that we have at the college. So that's what Mr. Cameron is working on right now. And also Ms. Goldross is working on that, on getting all those policies in order so that we can load everything through board docs, as well as on the regular page that we have on our site for policies and bylaws.
so Trustee Wah, do you want then an item on a future agenda in which we receive a report that it's all up and running and here's how it works?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. No further proposals for future agenda items. This meeting is adjourned.